Welcome to Legacy Updates, where we honor the people whose lives shaped our culture, our stories, and our hearts. Today, August 20th, 2025, we remember 10 remarkable Americans, voices from music, television, sports, and the arts. Join us as we celebrate their lives and the legacies they left behind. Hayley McNeff was an energetic presence in the fitness and bodybuilding community. A champion whose dedication inspired many to push harder and believe in what disciplined training could do for body and mind.
She rose through regional competitions to national recognition, blending competitive grit with an accessible, encouraging public presence. Hayley's social channels showcased workouts, coaching tips, and sincere messages about mental health and self-care, a combination that resonated with young athletes and everyday people alike.
Her sudden passing on August 8, 2025, at age 37, stunned the fitness world. Tributes poured in from fellow competitors, clients, and fans who remembered her not just for trophies, but for the patience she showed newcomers and the authenticity of her story.
Hayley's legacy is practical as well as personal. Dozens of young athletes she coached went on to compete and teach. Her training videos continue to be shared, and the community she built online remains a space for motivation and mutual support.
When we think of Hayley, picture a gym at dawn, a coach patiently correcting form, and a small group pushed to new limits. That quiet, steady leadership is what she gave the world.
Rest in power, Hayley. Your energy and example live on in every push-up, every rep, and every person you help to believe they could do more.
Michael Sloan was a storyteller first and foremost, a television writer and producer whose fingerprints are all over classic and enduring crime drama.
As co-creator of The Equalizer, Sloan helped shape a program that married vigilante thrills to moral complexity, crafting characters who struggle with justice and conscience in ways that felt contemporary and compelling.
Across his career, he wrote and produced for series that married action to character, work that trained viewers to expect both pulse and heart from their favorite shows. Colleagues remember Michael for his disciplined craft, his willingness to mentor younger writers, and his knack for a clean, propulsive scene.
Michael passed on August 13, 2025, at the age of 78. The industry's response honored not just the shows he helped build, but the quiet professionalism he modeled in writers' rooms and on set.
His influence lives on in every modern series that asks a central question about right, wrong, and what a single person can do when the system fails. The Equalizer may be a headline credit, but Michael's real contribution was showing how television can hold urgency and moral complexity at once.
As we remember him, let's celebrate the writers he encouraged and the stories that still teach us how to think about justice, mercy, and responsibility.
Greg Iles was a novelist who captured the American South's complex soul, its beauty, its wounds, and its hard reckonings, and made those realities page-turning and unforgettable.
Best known for Natchez Burning and other nationally best-selling thrillers, Iles blended suspense with layered historical inquiry. His books were as much about moral consequence as they were about plot.
Readers admired his dense atmospheres, his ability to make place feel like character, and his moral insistence. His stories forced empathy, demanded attention, and didn't let readers look away from uncomfortable truths.
Greg died on August 15, 2025, at age 65, after battling multiple myeloma. Fans and fellow writers noted a generosity of spirit, someone who corresponded with readers, supported local literary causes, and taught new writers the craft of pacing and patience.
Survivors remember him for resilience after a life-changing car accident in 2011 that might have ended his career. Instead, he returned and continued to produce ambitious, muscular work.
In bookstores and libraries, his novels will remain, evidence of a storyteller who treated fiction as a place to test courage, memory, and the work of reckoning with history.
Derreck Robinson was a football player whose professional path reflected hard work and quiet tenacity, a defensive lineman who earned his opportunities through hustle and preparedness.
From his standout days with the Iowa Hawkeyes to time on NFL rosters, Derreck represented the many players whose names don't always headline, but whose effort holds teams together. Special teams, depth charts, and late-season grit.
His death on August 13, 2025, at age 43, was met with remembrance from college coaches and former teammates who described him as a locker room steady, someone who valued mentorship as much as personal achievement.
Derreck's legacy lives in the players he inspired, young athletes who learned the value of preparation, the professionalism of showing up, and the humility of being part of something larger than oneself.
Football is built on roles both visible and unseen, and Derreck embraced every assignment. He reminds us that resilience, discipline, and character are the foundations of any team.
Our condolences to his family, coaches, and the tight-knit communities that knew him best. May his drive and steadiness be carried forward by those he mentored.
Craig Licker was a professional bodybuilder who carved out a respected name on competitive stages over decades, an athlete whose disciplined life modeled the grind behind extreme physical achievement.
Competing in NPC and IFBB circuits, Craig's routine excellence and attention to craft earned him titles and the respect of peers. Beyond medals, he was known for coaching younger athletes and sharing technical knowledge about training, recovery, and nutrition.
Craig passed on August 15, 2025, at age 57. Within the bodybuilding community, his steady presence at gyms, at contests, and online forums made him a go-to mentor for those aiming to move from local stages to national competition.
Many athletes noted his patience in the gym, willingness to spot, teach posing, and narrate the small refinements that separate a good competitor from a standout one.
Craig's legacy is twofold: trophies that mark accomplishments, and the quieter record of the athletes who trained under him and later succeeded. In that way, his influence multiplies.
We honor his commitment to craft and the discipline he modeled for the next generation of competitors.
Robin Lakoff changed how we think about language and power. As a linguist and professor, her scholarship reframed ordinary speech as a mirror of social roles and inequalities.
Her seminal 1975 work, Language and Woman's Place, sparked important conversations about gendered language and set the stage for sociolinguistics to address identity, politics, and everyday interaction.
Students and colleagues remember Robin not just for insight, but for generosity. She taught generations to listen carefully to the words people use and to ask what those words say about who we are and who holds power.
She passed on August 5, 2025, at age 82. Tributes noted how her scholarship moved from classroom debates into public conversation, influencing activists, teachers, and public policy discussions about communication and representation.
Robin's legacy is a reminder that academic work can shape culture. Small shifts in how we talk can lead to broader shifts in how we regard each other.
As we remember her, we honor the students she inspired and the continuing work of researchers who probe language to seek justice and clarity.
Dale Webster was affectionately known as the Daily Wavester, a surfer whose discipline made him a legend. More than 4 decades of showing up to the ocean every day without fail.
His commitment earned world record recognition and the admiration of surfers globally. Dale's life was an example of living by ritual, a reminder that mastery and joy often come from constancy rather than spectacle.
He passed on August 9, 2025, at age 76. For the coastal communities he frequented, Dale wasn't just a record holder. He was a mentor who coached young surfers, patched boards, and welcomed newcomers to the water.
Those who knew him speak of his calm presence and the simple moral clarity of a life spent outdoors, in rhythm with tides and weather, rather than schedules and screens.
Dale's example challenges us to think about dedication differently, not as obsession, but as devotion to a craft and a place that nourishes the spirit.
Today, surfers paddle out in his honor, carrying forward the steady love of the sea that defined his days.
Joe Caroff's work shaped how films announced themselves to the world. As a graphic designer, his posters and logos became cultural touchstones before audiences ever saw a frame.
From the James Bond 007 gun logo to poster campaigns for classics like West Side Story and Cabaret, Joe had an eye for visual shorthand, the single motif or silhouette that could hold a whole film's mood.
He passed on August 17, 2025, at age 103, leaving behind a portfolio that taught generations of designers how to distill story into symbol. Film studios, art directors, and students praised his ability to marry typography and imagery into unforgettable marks.
Though much of his craft was marketing, the impact was artistic. His compositions shaped decades of movie-going memories, and his logos continue to appear in cultural conversations and archival materials.
Joe's career is a reminder that design is storytelling. A poster can set expectation, create longing, and become a treasured part of cultural history.
We celebrate a designer whose work repeatedly showed how a single idea, executed well, can enter the popular imagination.
Ronnie Rondell Jr. was one of Hollywood's unsung daredevils, a stunt performer whose body and skill made blockbuster moments possible and believable.
From high falls to controlled fire and complex fight choreography, Ronnie's work behind the camera created the thrills spectators assume are effortless. His name may not have been in lights, but his craft lit up screens around the world.
He passed on August 12, 2025, at age 88. Fellow stunt performers praised his professionalism, mentorship, and the care he took to train others in safety and technique.
Ronnie's assignments made scenes visceral. When a stunt lands, the audience gasps and the story surges. That impact bears his signature. He also helped evolve safety standards and served as a steady hand in the often dangerous world of cinematic action.
His legacy is felt in every high-energy sequence that thrills modern audiences, and in the generations of stunt artists he taught to balance spectacle with safety.
We honor a craftsman who risked much to create moments that entertained millions, and who did so with professionalism and heart.
Gayle Cook built business and community in equal measure. As co-founder of Cook Group, she helped build a company that became a major maker of medical devices, a quiet engine behind healthcare innovation.
Beyond business, Gayle was a philanthropist and preservation advocate. Her charitable work supported education, the arts, and local historic efforts, investments that shape civic life in Indiana and beyond.
She passed on August 17, 2025, at age 91. Tributes highlighted not only corporate leadership, but also a belief that business success should return value to communities and future generations.
Gayle's life reminds us that entrepreneurship can be deeply civic. Business creates jobs and products, and with stewardship, it can also seed culture, conservation, and learning.
As we remember her, think of factory floors where innovation met care, and of the institutions, schools, museums, parks, that received a boost from her generosity.
Gayle Cook leaves a legacy of practical invention and civic heart, proof that business can be a force for public good. Thank you for watching this special Legacy Updates tribute. We hope these stories reminded you how diverse contributions, from design to sport, from the sea to the stage, weave together our shared culture.
If these lives moved you, Please like, subscribe, and share. Tell us in the comments which legacy meant the most to you. We read them all.